So for me, I think it's because people generally look at me and they think that I'm generally white, English, and they don't really know that I'm mixed. And I kind of get two kind of spectrums, really. I sort of get the people that are really interested, really intrigued, like love the fact that I'm mixed, can't sort of fathom it. And then when I show them a picture of my mum, they're like, oh my God, you're so dark and you're so light. And how does that kind of happen? And it's sort of really positive, and you know, I love it, I thrive on it, because I'm very proud of obviously my mum and my dad. But I've also had the other side as well, which is where people seem to be quite disappointed with the fact that, you know, I'm sort of been tainted or I'm sort of mixed, that kind of thing. But sort of growing up in sort of primary school, it's I was sort of colourblind as such, you know, you're growing up in this little bubble and everyone's friends and everyone doesn't really know about the big bad world kind of thing, and no one sort of judges anyone. And it was only when I sort of got to secondary school that I started noticing these little things, really, where people would see my mum come in for school, and all of a sudden it was sort of like the black girls would be like, oh my God, you know, your mum's, you know, dark like us kind of thing, so you're kind of like one of us, which never really sat well with me, because obviously it shouldn't really matter. But I also had like another incident when there was a fight in school, and a girl had sort of had a fight with another girl for being racist about a white person, and she kind of sort of mentioned the fact that, you know, my mum's white, you know, it was a mixed race girl, and I sort of thought, oh, my mum's not white, you know. And it was a real kind of shock moment for me to actually realise that, you know, I was different in some respects. And obviously, like growing up, like we laugh about it now, and it was like it's always a running joke in our family, but you know, growing up, people thought that my mum was my nanny, and, you know, we'd walk along the road and they would never think that, you know, I was her daughter until I said mum, and everyone would be sort of shocked and look at her. And, you know, this is like the 80s, where things weren't so open as they are today. And I mean, we laugh about it, but I never sort of think how she might have taken that, really, and how she might have felt that people thought that there was no way that she was mine, and she was just some sort of nanny because she was of sort of a different colour kind of thing. But obviously I've sort of grown up sometimes sort of denying who I am, which I'm very kind of like ashamed of when I look back now, because it's, you know, if I've been in a situation where, say for example, I've been in a room with loads of white people that are sort of saying quite derogatory things about different races, I've sometimes found it easier not to say things rather than sort of stand up. And I think I was a lot younger then, whereas now I'm very confident in myself, in terms of sort of being proud of where I am and being proud of different ethnicities. I'm really interested in it, always have been. And obviously I've gone through a phase of maybe not sort of like identifying who I am, where I come from. And the only kind of people that I can try and identify as my brothers and sisters, but again, like, we're so different. So none of us have got the same eye colour, none of us got the same skin colour, none of us got the same hair colour. So we've sort of lived our own kind of stories. And I've also lived actually through seeing the hurt that it causes as well. I've been to places where with my brother, who's a totally different colour to me, same colour as my mum, and to see them, the reactions they get, really. And it makes me sometimes feel that, well, not so much now, but in the past, it's actually made me feel quite grateful that I look the way that I look, which is really terrible, because I don't get judged the way that they do. I don't get treated the way that they do. My mum lives in a predominantly sort of white area now, and we have problems when we go out for coffee, and it's still to this day quite hard to sort of accept when you think that the world is so different now, with telly and things that they introduce. They're really sort of making it really open. You know, the world isn't as closed, it's not as small. But I sort of can sit here now and I'm really sort of comfortable with who I am. And even though you can identify with different people that have mixed race and that kind of thing, we're all so different, and it is such a positive thing. And I'm just looking forward to the fact that, you know, when I have children, I can pass this on to them and be really proud of their heritage, the same way that I am.